Dan Larson here, and I'm at the photo booth with this week's mail. Up first is Jared from North Brunswick, New Jersey, who watches the show with his dad, Eric. They sent in a very thoughtful collection of figures. They saw on social media that I wasn't able to get the NECA SDCC movie turtle set, like a lot of people, and even offered to let me borrow their set just to get a review done. I declined since I didn't want to take the chance with the back and forth of mailing figures here and there. So what they did was they sent me a custom lot that they were starting to build from the Classics Turtles. And you see the whole set is here. I'm going to move Madelman out of the way for a moment here, and Madelman over here. So you got two of the regular blister card packaging and then the full set. I think this was a Walmart exclusive set that came with the extra accessories and the extra facial expression heads there. But the important thing, the thing we want to focus on here is this Donatello has a custom sculpted head, custom sculpted and painted head, and a more movie accurate bow staff as well. You can see this is the one that was included with the figure. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be bent like that. It looks more like a broom or something. But this is the more movie accurate one that they were starting to build the set because they just assumed this was the best that they were ever going to see. This was the best they were ever going to get. And then NECA announced the new Turtles. And then they felt bad for me, so they sent me this custom set that they were building. And I got to say, this head is actually pretty impressive, including all the little spots and skin textures that are on there, and that sort of has been the reaction to these figures. I think people generally like the posability, the articulation. They got toes and fingers and all that stuff, especially the ones that come with all the extra heads and whatever. But Mattel really, not Mattel, Playmates really cheaped out when it came to actually getting the detail of the movie suits and referencing them, and even making those heads. Like this is the Donatello head that it came with versus the Donatello head that was custom made for this particular piece. So it's not even close, and I don't blame people who were really trying to put their own sets together. But more importantly, I genuinely appreciate you guys sending this in. This is really fantastic. And this piece, I mean, the head is incredible. I don't have the craftsmanship to the skills to be able to match this in any way, but I am very, very impressed with this head. It's even got, look at this, it's even got cloth ties here on the back. But this staff is pretty amazing as well. I don't know if this was a 3D printed thing or how this was made, but that's pretty impressive work, especially when you compare it to the one it came with. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these here. They did include some addresses, some web addresses, to be able to seek out the other heads and staffs and stuff, but that's going to be I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're going to go with that. But I want to say thank you very much to both Jared and Eric. Thank you for watching the show. And thank you very much for thinking of me, both in terms of potentially sending the actual NECA set out, but then indefinitely sending these out. Up next is Carlos from Orlando, Florida. Carlos also, I'm going to slide these guys out of the way here. Carlos also sent out a unique and interesting piece here. This is a custom painted, real grade Gundam figure, the classic, my favorite RX 78-2, painted obviously as Optimus Prime. Check out his Instagram at Teletran1, Teletran, the number 1 NE, to see the companion piece he made. It's a Zaku as Megatron, which is a really incredible piece. I mean, this thing is fully functional as far as posability. It's a real grade, so if you're familiar with the Gundams, I mean, I don't know if you can see, he's got, articulated fingers and all the stuff going on here. He applied the Autobot insignias. I mean, this is no joke. He included weapons and stuff. We even gave it the Optimus Prime stand here. I believe this was from the Titanium series, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to stand him on there. I actually don't know how to use the stand, but if nothing else, it works for just holding him up like that. But it's a really impressive piece. But Carlos is also a high school science teacher and runs a club for anime, tabletop games, video games, RPGs, pop culture, etc. And he even included a club shirt for us here at Toy Galaxy. Let me slide this out of the way so Gundam Optimus doesn't get hurt. And the logo on this thing is pretty amazing. Reminds me of my favorite intergalactic bounty hunter. Truly an honor, Carlos. Thank you very much. I don't know which one I like more, honestly. The shirt is awesome. The Optimus is awesome. The Optimus, Gundam Optimus. It'll be going in my Gundam case for sure. Get a good look at this thing. It's pretty incredible. Thank you. After that, we've got Ramon. Joe Ramon. I don't know if it's Joe or Joe Ramon, but from Madrid, Spain. And so for this, I'm gonna all these custom pieces that I want to be very careful with. I can slide this. Oop. Something about turtles in this booth falling over and wrecking my paper backdrop here. All right, Joe Ramon sent in 2 Madelman figures, which I had absolutely never heard of before. I'm gonna prop these up. Hang on. Slide these guys out of the way for a moment. We will come back to you guys. All right, oop. There we go. All right, so actually what I'm going to do here is, if you can see that, I'm just going to read you straight from Joe's letter. These little fellows were made in the late 80s by Exin, E-X-I-N, you can see them down here. Exin, a Spanish company that made some of the most iconic toys for kids in the late 70s, such as Exin Castillos. I assume that is a castle construction toy, or I can't actually read this. It's basically cars. The original Madelman action figures were inspired by the original G.I. Joes, clearly. The owner of Model Plastics, M-A-D-E-L, saw them while traveling to the U.S. They made their own version and became quite popular, being produced from the late 60s to the early 80s. After that, they tried a new version inspired by G.I. Joe. The sci-fi approach probably was based on V, and I'll get to that in a second here. V, the miniseries, where the lizard aliens come to Earth. Apparently it was huge in Spain at that time. The new line was not very popular and only lasted 2 seasons. I assume he means this show, Madelman. The figures I've sent are, this is Joe speaking, not me. The figures I've sent are from the first wave, but repackaged to go along with the rest of Wave 2. Most of these toys were never released. The back of the models shows a full catalog of every model in the line, blah, blah, blah. So, the gimmick here, obviously, like Joe was explaining, is that these are similar to G.I. Joe. This almost looks like Blowtorch. But you've got humans, it's Madelman 2050, and you've got humans versus the aliens. And there's a couple of gimmicks involved here, not just the fact that they're 3 3/4 inch figures with all kinds of vehicles and accessories and stuff, but there's also a magnetic gimmick involved where this guy, Zan, I think his name is Zan, he's actually got a magnet in his torso that works with Sorius here, who is actually one of the Los Hombres Cota, C-O-T-A, command, I don't actually know it. Los Zarkons? I'm not sure. Somebody's gonna have to help me out with what the lineup actually is there. But anyway, the important part. See, the important part here is that the human's magnet in his chest responds to the magnet in this lizard creature's head. And I'm just using a regular magnet here, so you can see that when the magnet gets close, it actually changes his face from the human face, like you can see on the graphic here, from the human face to the lizard face, which is a really cool gimmick. It's like magnetic Manny faces, and I don't think I can quite get these guys close enough together to activate the magnetic thing. But I believe also that this guy's feet are also magnetic. Oops. So you can see his torso is actually magnetic. My magnet sticks to it. But that's really amazing. I've never heard of these things before. Joe, thank you so much for sending those out. I'm definitely going to be looking into this line a bit more. He mentions in the note that it comes with a comic, a little mini comic packed in here, like He-Man guys, that sort of sets up the mythology and tells their story. That's the same comic in both of them. So I may have to open one of those just to take a look at them and get a feel for them, because they're pretty cool, and I've never heard of that before. Next up is Keegan from Dayton, Washington. Keegan sent in a miscellaneous box of figures, all kinds of stuff. We've got Swashbuckling Peter Pan here from Hook, which, so I think this is supposed to be Robin Williams. I'm not totally sure. It's not the best likeness in the world. We also had some Transformers blind bag minifigures, and I'm at a loss for naming all of these guys. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. Sideswipe, maybe? I'm not sure. I wasn't watching this particular animated series. This looks kind of like it could be related to Bisque, but I'm not sure. And then this is Devastator. That's the only one I know for sure. But I think I've actually received some of these from other people, so I might actually have a little bit of a collection going here at this point. We've also got Rinsler over here from Tron Legacy, the second one, the sequel, which I really enjoyed that movie a lot, and it broke my heart. How certain characters were handled, I won't spoil that for anybody who doesn't already know, but Rinsler is a really cool character, and check it out if you haven't already seen it yet. And then we've also got this guy over here, this construction worker who, for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to say, was probably on the same job site as Spike Witwicky from G1 Transformers. So maybe he'll hang out with some of my my Masterpiece Transformers figures. And then we've also got Ben 10 Diamond Head here. And then some other pieces that I don't have in front of me right now. Up next, thank you, Keegan, for sending those in. I appreciate that. Kevin from Long Island. Kevin sent in the glow-in-the-dark Evil Ernie, which I honestly don't know much about Evil Ernie, other than the era that he came from. As far as I know, actually, I may assume too much. As far as I know, he was born in the 90s. This figure's from 97. Joe, what was the guy's name that created it? I can't remember the guy's name that created it. But I really don't know anything about it. All of that aside, I really don't care. It says Chaos Rules on the back of his coat there. He's glow in the dark, and that's what I'm all about. And that's a cool piece I didn't have, which is it's funny. I saw this stand and I was like, where did I just see this stand? Very recently in one of these Dan in the Photo Booth videos, we saw a translucent Lady Death, which was from the same line, had the same exact stand in it. So that's funny. Kevin also sent in the two Mach 6s. I don't know why he sent two, but we got two here, and I'm pretty sure I have two Mach 5s at this scale anyway, so I don't know. I guess two Mach 5s, two Mach 6s. That'll work out nicely. And then I've also got, Kevin also sent the, I think this is color change. I'm never sure if I should qualify this as translucent. I mean, yes, light passes through it, but I'm pretty sure it's a color change thing. You kind of see that her hair color is there. And she's got, her uniform is there as well, her Fantastic Four costume. I think these came out of a Happy Meal, I'm pretty sure. And then also, lastly, we've got Martian Manhunter, translucent Martian Manhunter, phasing Martian Manhunter, and then, of course, the regular Martian Manhunter. I don't know if these were from, I'm going to guess from the Justice League Unlimited line, but they might have been just from the regular Justice League line, which is a great line of figures. And then, I don't know if you've seen recently, but DC's direct streaming service, DC Unlimited, I think it's called, they've actually reintroduced, these figures, but with more articulation and modern sculpting and 6-inch scale. And it's really cool, but I'm not going to be getting in on that because I don't need another streaming service. Anyway, thank you again to Jared and Eric, Carlos, and everyone in the Pop Culture Club. Joe, Ramon, Keegan, and Kevin, thank you for hanging out for a few minutes and listening to me talk about toys. Hit like, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you to those who are. Wave to all our Patreon supporters as their names scroll by. Head over to patreon.com/toygalaxy if you want to join them. Do good, be good, have a great day. Later.